Hello, writers. It's Mrs. Shadman. I'm so excited to see you again. My favorite time of day. Of course, you know that it's because I love writing. Okay, before we get started, though, you know that there are some things that we have to have every single day when we write. We need something to write on. Oops, something to write with. We need something to write on. We need any tools that our teacher has given us, or charts that we can use to make writing even easier. We need our writing folder if you have it at home. We want a safe place to keep all of that wonderful writing that you're doing. And lastly, and most importantly, we need someone to share our writing with. And it can be a real life person or it can be a stuffy. Okay, so can you go grab the things that you need, pause it, and then come right back to me. Do it quick. We've got a lot to learn today. All right, thank you for coming back to me so quickly. I appreciate that. Okay, writers, do you remember when I first wrote the book, How to Make a Peanut Butter Sandwich? And do you remember what happened as we were following my directions? Remember, first step one, first get the jar of peanut butter, which we did. And then step two, put it on the bread. That didn't make sense, did it? Remember? So you guys gave me ideas about what I could do to go back and revise it to make it more clear. Do you remember that? So now it sounds like this. How to make a peanut butter sandwich. First, get the jar of peanut butter. Step two. Next, open the jar and use your knife to scoop some peanut butter out. Step three. Then spread the peanut butter over one piece of bread. Do you see? Doesn't that make much more sense? Give me a thumbs up if you think we could actually follow those directions and make a peanut butter sandwich. Great. So today, writers, I want to teach you that to write steps that a reader can easily follow, it really helps to remember yourself actually doing something and to picture it happening in your mind, almost like you're watching a little video in slow motion, pausing often to say, what words describe exactly what I just did in my mind? So I'd like for you to watch me try that, okay? I really want to think about what's the next thing that happens in my book. I want to actually make a little movie in my head about what I'm actually doing, and then I want to write the exact words to show that. Okay, so I'm going to reread step 3 so that I can think about in my head, what are the actions, what are the things that I would be doing on the very next step. So, step 3, then spread the peanut butter over one piece of bread. So when I get ready to write step 4, I want to think about what's that very next thing that I'm going to do. Let me see. Let me write step 4. Okay, so I've just spread my peanut butter, right? And I'm thinking that very next thing that I would do is I would grab the jar of jelly, because that's going to come next, right? I would grab the jar of jelly and then I would open the jar, right? I twist the lid off and open the jar. Right? Okay, so grab the jar of jelly and twist the lid to open the jar. All right, I'm going to write those words, right? Because that's exactly what I would do. So I'm going to put next, grab, grab the, I can say the, or I can say the, but I always spell it T-H-E. Grab the jar, j, j, j. And I know A-R says R. Jar of, well, that's a word wall word, right? I can look at the word wall. Next, grab the jar of jelly. Jelly. We know that Y says E or I when it's at the end of a word. Next, grab the jar of jelly and twist the lid off. And that's a word wall word. Twist. Twist the D-H-E. Lid. Lid. Off. I know that's of. It takes two F's to make off. And then a period. Now I'm going to reread it. Step 4. I'm going to picture it in my head. Grab the jar of jelly and twist the lid off. Excellent. Do you see how I did that? Do you see how I thought about, what step is going to come next? And I'm actually picturing it happening. And sometimes it helps to just act it out. So I'm picturing it happening and I'm actually doing it and I'm saying the words out loud. And then I record them on my booklet. Okay, now it's your turn. I want you to give it a try. Okay, so I'm going to reread step 4, and then I want you to think about what would be the very next thing that we would do if we were making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And I want you to kind of act it out. I want you to think about it in your head, and I want you to use your hands to kind of figure out what would you do, and say the words out loud that name the steps. Okay, you ready? Step 4. Next, grab the jar of jelly and twist the lid off. What am I going to do next? Right now. Act it out. What is step 5? What am I going to do? Will you grab your writing partner or your stuffy and tell them, show them, picture it, and get just the right words, the exact words that describe it? I'll wait right here. When you're ready and you have an idea, will you put your hands on your shoulders? I see lots of friends with hands on your shoulders. I even see some friends actually acting it out, showing exactly what we would do next. Okay, can I share what some friends said? I listened in, and some friends said, next, grab the jar of jelly and twist the lid off, and watch what I saw them do. They said they'll get the knife, they'll reach in and scoop some jelly out and spread it on the bread. Right? Will you give me a thumbs up if you said something like that? Oh, I see lots of friends who had that same idea. So friends, do you see how if we just think about and kind of act out the exact thing that's going to happen next, it helps us know what words to write in our books. And so it's really helpful to kind of think about doing it yourself. Okay, so as you go off to write today, something that I want you to think about is what that very next step is, and write the exact actions that you're thinking about or that you're doing on your piece of paper. Okay, I can't wait to see your how-to writing books. I know they're getting better and better every single day.